Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Galaxy. Well, last time we went through the second half of the Nalvasa Seaway. I think that's the first time I've ever actually said that word out loud. And as you can see from the footage in front of you, this was already recorded earlier. I finally decided to go through and spend all of the time that I needed inside of the flow, and I figured I'd give you a little 2.25 times speed overview of what I did, and then we'll go and we'll talk about all the spells that I learned after. Just to note, while I was doing this, I also went and I put anything, like I went and I went through everyone's flow, and any items that I had either infinite access to or very high access to, I just put them in. We're right out of dragon skulls, and we're short on eggs, and we're short on something else. I don't remember off the top of my head. But so we've put these all to work. We finished this all up. It's going to go a lot faster doing it this way than it would be for me to be gibbering and talking on screen. I think my original footage of me just doing this and then going over the skills is like 20-30 minutes. So we're going to cut that way down. But there is something I did want to talk about with regards to what I was doing with that factory episode. Well, I was going that and the other one with the Insectron that ended up just dying. I have no idea why I lost footage for those, but I lost footage, but I had the audio. So I was going through what I originally said to make sure if there was any insights that I came up with on the spot, that if I, thought of something that was cool and was useful to give to you guys in terms of information, that I'd be able to talk about that again. And in doing so, I went through with my editing software and I basically did what I did here, and I played around with the clip speed. If you go on YouTube and you adjust the clip speed of any video, I don't know what kind of algorithm or feature they're using for it, but it doesn't really hype up the pitch of the voices too much, so it's a lot easier to understand what people are saying. My software does not do this. I went and increased the speed to 1.5 times speed. And if any of you are familiar with Foamy the Squirrel, it sounded like a dead-on what he uses for creating that cartoon. That's the type of cadence and the pitch that my voice had going through this software by doing that. So I decided, okay, well, let's see what it's like at 2 times speed. I was just changing the speed because I was trying to get through all the stuff that I had talked about faster, right? Well, I tried 2 times speed, and I sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks. So those features are still there in my editing software, but I can't seem to get a variation of the software or a variation of the clip speed where I would increase it the way that YouTube does, which is really weird. I don't know how that happens, if it's like an after the fact kind of thing. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to point out. It was a weird little feature that I found over the course of, trying to salvage those episodes. One, I just ended up re-recording the whole thing in the Insectron. The other one was a mismatch of 1,000 different things. That one was a nightmare to put together. But there was one other thing that came up that I thought was interesting, and it also pertains to kind of my editing software and how I would go about that. The way I have my mic set up is I actually unplug it after I'm done recording and go put it off to the side, just because my desk doesn't have a good permanent spot to leave it. So to keep it out of my way, I unplug it and I go put it off in the corner somewhere so it's out of the way. The thing about that is every time I re-hook up my microphone to my computer, it resets the audio levels on it back to 50 out of 100 in Windows. Don't ask me why. I can't figure it out for the life of me, but it does that. And I'm surprised that there's only been one episode that I've recorded in this entire LP where I have had to go and fix that. I don't know how I didn't notice that until now, to be quite honest. But yeah, it's like I would assume that would have been the case with all my other LPs up until now, because I've always unplugged it after each recording session. But yeah, it's weird. So I normally have it at 65, and that's the right levels for me for how I have my settings. But for some reason, I couldn't get it to do that. It's weird. I don't know. But anyway, I think this was like 12 minutes just me going through and putting points in, and we've cut it down to, what's that, 5 minutes? So yeah, we save a bunch of time here, and we've basically finished off pretty much all of that. So instead of blathering on, let's get to actually going over what some of these skills actually are. All right, let us look at some of these skills. Yeah, we know what fire and wind resistance are. We just got better though. There's not a whole lot to it. Center of attention leveled up. We already had that. Hyperdrive leveled up. We already had that. Wave jammer. We already had that. And then basically more of the same. Here we actually learned something new. Tornado Dance shows off the hottest dance move to astound and attack all enemies with wind and sleep. It's not something that I used a lot in my test run, but it's an option. A 5-alarm fire spits out hot flames to attack all enemies, fire and burn. You'll notice that the AP costs for both of these spells, this one at level 2 and the other one at level 1, are both going to be less than Yo-Yo Shock at level 2. Terrible Tune is ice and wind elemental with paralysis, so that could be useful strictly for the paralysis aspect of it. But again, the AP cost is not all that high, so basically you're going with the highest AP cost skills most of the time because they tend to do the most damage. You can obviously exploit elemental weaknesses, but in most normal battles, we really don't care that much. Death Break is lightning and holy. This is an interesting ability. Again, I didn't use a lot of them in my test run because I was able to get level 3 of other skills ahead of time. But if you look at the AP cost here, if I'll undo the button, it's really high. So we have Inferno Vortex, which is Zegram and Simon's attack, wind, fire with burn. But yeah, you can see the high AP cost there, 45. That's massive, and that even beats out a level 3 lightning spell. So we'll probably be trying to use that as we go forward. I don't think I did a lot in my test run just because it took me forever to learn it. Zegram, Jaster, and Lilica have a triple attack, which is wind and holy. And we only have level 1 of Gates of Hell, but it will be interesting to look into because I know Supernova, which is triple tech with Jaster, Kisala, and Zegram, that one is extremely powerful. So we'll see how this one plays out. Flash Bomb's a new ability. It's fire-based, does paralysis. We like this one. I didn't use it a lot in my test run, but paralysis is such a useful status effect that I probably should use more of it. Eternal Soldiers, I don't know what this does. I never used it in my test run, but Deco and Zegram combination attack, it says continuous. Every other attack we've seen has been instant, but Fire Lightning, I'm assuming this is a physical attack buff, but I don't really know. It's got a massive AP cost, so I'm interested to try it out and see what we get out of it. But yeah, it's really different from pretty much everything else we've seen, at least as far as combination attacks go. Kisala, I don't think really learned anything all that new. Starlinked Venus is Kisala and Lilica's cooperative attack, so ice and holy. This one I remember using a little bit in my test run. Not a huge amount, but basically a lot of the time I find uses for them. Here we have Kisala, Jaster, and Dego's ultimate combination, which is fire, holy, and sleep. But I find I use these combination attacks to get additional damage or different elements on characters that don't normally have really high powered attacks or, you know, on their own, or really powerful elements that happen to work in this particular case. Raging Dragon is fire and burn, but this is kind of an issue because we get it now. It costs 18 AP. We already have Missile Squall 3 and have had it for quite a while. It's also fire-based, has a much higher AP cost and does a crapload more damage. This is another basic flash sword type attack. Holy and Confusion, it's a buff for his gun. So that's a thing if we still care about that. Last Resort Meteor is Simon and Jupas combination. Fire, Lightning, Holy, and Burn. So this again can be useful, but as I was kind of talking about, that's basically my reasoning for using it, is to get around the fact that they don't have super powerful attacks on their own, and Simon does. Simon's attack is really good. So anyway, that's enough of the skills. And let's get back to the game at hand. And by let's get back to the game, I mean somebody has been really neglecting to do combinations. So let's go over that real quick too. We want to do Deep Squid. And we want to do Genocide Beams. And get Demon Mencers. Next, we want to do Homing Shooter and Universe Pocket. And this gets us Dimension Zero. Next, we want Total Inferno Hands and Deep Drill Fingers. And this gets us the Advent Storm Hands. Next, we want the Evil Cacophony and the Twin Tornado. And this gets us the Pandemonium. Sadly, I don't think it throws out tornadoes. Though it does have a Twin Tornado in it, so maybe. Next, we want to do My Axe, which you stole, and the Limit Avenger. And that gets us the Gaia's Axe.
Now that's what I call a masterpiece.
Next, we want the Crescent Moon and the Lunar Glint that we've been holding on to for the entire game. And that gets us an Ultraviolet Saber.
Voila.
Next, we want to pair the Blue Stare with the Wicked Moon. And that gets us the Dragon's Ascent
Now that's what I
Prime.
call a masterpiece.
Next, we want to pair Athena's Shoes with the Angel Slippers. And that gets us the Sailing Flora. Next, the Justice Ray and the Justice Strike. And that gets us the Lord Hades Prime.
A masterpiece.
And last but not least, we want to pair our 7-star sword Ixion with a Blizzard Edge. And this gets us simply the Ixion 2. And now I've distributed all those new weapons. We have stuff to work on. You'll take a look at the flow here, and you'll notice that almost none of my characters are highlighted anymore, or like glowing, flashing, whatever it is, because there's nothing they can work on. So I'm still needing a few more Nebulodon eggs. I'm still gonna need some more of these. I only have 2, and I need 4, and I think they're all on her. And what other things? I'm needing more Dark Music boxes, and I'm needing more Dragon Skulls. There's a few that I need that for. Plus, I need those Roses of Passion, which I only had a couple of, and yeah, so we still have a whole bunch of that stuff to work on. But now that we've put all of that stuff together, we can go face our opponents up there. Oh, there was one other thing I did. If you look at my shields, just take a look at which shields I'm using on which characters. I did swap 1 or 2 of them around, but I only did so that they would get the benefit from whichever shield they happen to be using, in terms of they didn't already learn protection from that status effect in their grid already. So there you go. Pause if you need to highlight any of those. But yeah, as you can see, like, everyone has a massive amount of defensive status, both offensive and elemental. So let's go to the laboratory.
So this is Daytron's research facility.
Jaster.
Welcome, fools. After this girl, are you?
I guess I'm glad I don't have Zegrim in the party. can't be in two places at once.
Nina! Nina! It's us! Everything's going to be okay!
How truly silly of you to have come all this way. I have no need for the two of you anymore. Look at this.
The Enigma gem?
She can teleport?
What is it? Our village treasure. But why?
I should probably stop confusing people with that.
Don't you get it? This girl really pulled the wool over your eyes.
It's not true!
The Enigma gem was originally a mermal treasure. You sleeves used brute force to take it from us. And now I'm taking it back. With the Enigma gem and Daytron's science, the beautiful mermal sea will be ours once more.
Nina, they're tricking you! Remember what Daytron's done to us all!
That reaction.
Nina!
No, I'll never forget. I'll never forget what you sleeves did to us mermals, and I will never, ever forgive you.
Yeah, enough of that. We have the Enigma gem. Show's over. Now for a taste of sheer power, Daytron style.
I'm just realizing that with all the preparation that I did, I forgot to test out this fight.
What is it? Damn. Leave this one to us.
All right, we have boss time. I have my notes to work off of, so that's fun. All right, this guy is somewhat interesting. From my notes, he's not really a jump attack enemy, but if you hit him from the sides, his claws will actually block your damage. So you don't want to do that, and jumping gets out of the way of, I guess, either the counterattacks or just the claws blocking you in general. So you really want to focus on kind of you doing your jump hits. So let's throw up some protection. Let's throw up aromatic boost. And we'll do flash sword so I'm not cheesing them. You see the no damage? If you're kind of to the side, it just doesn't work properly. Once he hits, I think it's a third or a quarter of his health gone.
Damn it.
We get a cutscene.
Now they've done it.
There's Zegram.
Technology for you. Fritz, I'm gonna ask you one last time. Are you really serious about this? Of course. A quick answer. I like that. Then let's go.
Wait!
It's you guys.
Now we know who the real enemy is. The way we've been acting. Forgive us.
I know his voice,
Jaus, let us fight by your side.
but I can't place it right now.
The more the merrier.
I'd look it up, but I don't think that guy actually has a name. So I don't know how to specifically look it up. If anyone knows, you can place it in comments, and I'll pin it there. But yeah, I know that voice from something. I just not sure what it is.
I told you this was our problem. Wait! It'll never work!
Yeah, those are some of the attacks that he will use.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're dropping like flies.
Damn it!
Listen, everyone! That's enough! You'll never beat these guys! Run while you still can!
You're not ready to give up yet. I told you. True allies show up to help in a pinch.
But I don't need help. This is all a trap.
No. You're asking for help, all right. I can hear it. Your heart. It's screaming. Help. Help me.
Jaus,
You're not alone, Nina. Look at everyone who's on your side. Sleeg or Mermal, it doesn't matter anymore.
Good tandem
Why would you
offense.
do all this?
Well, we're friends, aren't we?
Don't mind the widescreen mod. It kind of forks part of the scene there.
For me? Thank you, Fritz, Jaus.
Huh? Hey, what do you think you're doing?
I'm going to help my friends.
I have no idea what that thing is supposed to do.
What's that? Huh?
You'll pay. You'll pay for this girl. Nina!
That's a cool effect. I almost wish they had given it new music, because this music is not super intimidating, as we've come to note from a lot of the boss fights in the game. Like, the boss fights can be hard, but they're not always all that hard. I don't believe he's actually weak to anything. He is weak to ice and to holy. I am gonna hold guard to not take a massive hit there. Yep, I think I'm good. Now he's gonna go for a charge. Okay, he's gonna go for shots. He can go for a charge that can absolutely slaughter your guys. So watch out if he does go for that charge. You can see that even without, like, all my buffs have worn off now. I'm not, I don't have a lot to worry about here. Yeah, just make sure you're strafing and hopefully you'll avoid that damage. But yeah, like, this guy does not have that much health. Ow. And he's also not using his charge attack, which I specifically put notes in when I did my test run to talk about, because it did a lot of damage and it probably killed a couple of my characters. But I'm not struggling all that much right now. And do note, like, we're not using Earthshaker anymore. We basically haven't for... Ow. Okay, strafe to the side. Come back here. There we go. And for defeating him, we get the Spirit Caliber. But yeah, like, we're basically working on new weapons for probably most of the rest of the... Well, not the rest of the main story, but a lot of the main story. At least for a few chapters. We have a lot of weapons to work on. But yeah, not the most challenging boss fight, but we take care of him. It's a big crab.
Where am I?
You're home. We're back at the village.
The village? Then
Don't speak.
What? Everyone's...
It's all right, Nina. I did some thinking as I got you out of there. The real bad guy here is Daytron. But none of this would have ever happened if our two races hadn't fought. If you hate this place, I won't make you stay. But you shouldn't leave until your wounds are healed. And when you're all better, we'll go on a trip.
A trip?
Did you forget that promise we made? Way back when? The oceans are vast on this planet. Surely there must be other mermals like you somewhere. We'll go off in search of them. And I know we'll find them. No matter how long it takes, we'll find them all and bring them back here. We're all friends, right?
Yeah.
Looking good. We couldn't have done this alone. Thanks, Mr. Pirate Man.
Still, you guys are nothing to sneeze at. How about a wild ride across the galaxy, eh?
Sounds interesting. But as you heard, we have a promise to keep. I'll pass for now.
Aw, what a waste of good talent.
We owe you a debt that we'll never be able to repay. This is hardly enough, but I hope you'll accept it.
What is it?
Oh, well, I had dreams once upon a time myself. I think these'll look good on you. Go on.
Okay.
Good luck out there. See ya.
I do actually like this little side storyline. And for doing that, we obtained the pirate outfit. About time we got something new for Jaster to equip. Been wearing that jungle coat for like, what, 5 chapters now? So there we go. We got a pirate. Not too bad. All right, you'll notice there's one more chest here in town. And the other one, where'd it go? It has disappeared, but it is over here somewhere. I guess we're not close enough to it. But yeah, there is a chest here, and it is right there, and it requires the sun key, which we do not have yet. So don't worry about that. We will come back here later. No, that was the right way out. It looked like it ended in nothing, so I was about to run away from it. I guess I probably should have just walked to the save point, since that probably would have been faster, but no, I did make a note in here that, and probably a level of cynicism involved in this note, but I was going to complain about Nina's, you know, abrupt double cross and back and forth. In a sense, like, there are parts about it that I like because the performance actually makes sense. The performance is believable. But the fact that people would change their minds so often and so easily, that's one of the things that kind of bother me in a sense for this game. It's not something that only happens once. And anyway, yeah, I don't want to get into it too far, but let's make our way to Vidan. Now, before going to the final ruins, if you plan on using all of the hyper crystals and omega crystals and all those kinds of things to build up your weapons, you'll want to buy them before all the ones that are available at all the shops. Check the walkthrough if you're looking for like a shop list there. And just make sure you buy them all before we finish our business at the third and final of the royal ruins, the ancient ruins, whatever you want to call them, before getting the third key piece. Because I believe after that, they will eventually restock. So make sure you pick them up now if you plan on getting a whole bunch. Like, we have more than enough money. It's not like we're ever going to run out of money at this point. We couldn't, even if we tried. Look at all the weapons that I still have to deal with. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Next time, as you can see, we are going to make our way into the Cancer King's ruins. And we will finally finish off this inevitably long Chapter 8. It's basically been about 50% of my playtime so far has been in this chapter. It's insanely long. But anyway, that's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.